is so there's already been I've already mentioned 3 downloadable titles, and 2 of them came from Summer of Arcade, and my number 4 also comes from Summer of Arcade.
Yeah!
And if anything, it kind of exemplifies why I think, man, all those are Xbox Live Arcade. They just knocked it out of the park this year.
What is it?
Well, my number 4 is Castlevania Harmony of
Oh,
Despair.
That's funny because my number 4 is Castlevania Harmony of Despair.
Let's make out. It was just, if you really break it down and you make a fucking checklist of, oh, this game had bad graphics, and this game had this, and it didn't have this, and this was unpolished. Maybe that's why Castlevania doesn't have high marks, but I'll tell you what that game really achieved. It achieved Castlevania, like, it did Castlevania in a multiplayer setting right, by mixing it with what? Diablo 2. What makes Diablo awesome is kind of what made Castlevania Harmony of Despair awesome. By making the reason you want to play it over and over and over again, which this is I think by far my most played game of this year, is by giving you the loot, random drops.
That's not why I play the game. I play the game
I know
for
you know.
co-op.
The co-op was great, but I just want to mention this first because I know you won't.
Permanent.
And that's that. And it's the fact that you're playing with your friends. And
everyone's got their different character, and
everyone's got different characters, different abilities.
differently.
And as soon as you see somebody go into the game and run by you at twice the speed you're moving, you're like, oh my god, what's making him do that, and how do I get it?
Winged boots!
Exactly. Or they use a sword that's really strong, and you see how much damage it does, and it's like, oh my god, how do I do that? Or how do I break my healing spell to make it super overpowered? What made Diablo awesome was that you knew what was in the world. You knew what was out there, but it just took time and effort to finally get. And that's why you played it over and over again, because you wanted that. Because you wanted to be playing co-op and to run past a dude at 2 times speed while they were walking, their slow asses by. It's about the loot. It's about knowing what's out there. It's about the addiction of trying to get it. And that's what made me keep going back to Castlevania. But even if you forget all that first experience, that first run through with David and Joseph and Corvus and Sci-Fi and everybody,
And Carlos.
it was such a fun
Double
experience
bazookas.
as we were discovering this very different and unique game together. We just had so much fucking fun.
It's just cool, and they did such a great job incorporating other people. Like, oh, you're a skeleton, but you're not out of it because we can find healing water, bring you back. And even in the boss battle, you don't exactly die. You can still be a skeleton, And it's about time and not exactly about you die and you're out.
There's so much Castlevania fan service too. You get to go back and play all these characters that I've loved. I played all those games, and man, seeing Alucard like wreck shit up with a Chrysogrim, it's just oh my god, that brings me back. Even though I still haven't gotten a Chrysogrim or Winged Boots.
It's because you don't play enough.
Yeah, but just
Got a whole another year now, Brad.
You don't play this shit.
And they're still releasing more DLC, of which I bought. I bought that new map, by the way.
Damn.
Legion's the boss.
The
big massive bodies.
and
Wait, is that from when I played Donasara?
He's in a couple.
He's in a bunch of them.
He's in Knights of the Show. Symphony of the Night.
I was a part of about 250 to 300 Dracula runs, and I never
250.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
never got Winged
I'm gonna get
Boots.
tonight. I'm gonna get tonight.
And
it sucks. They need to come up with a better trade system or some shit.
Yeah, again, it has flaws, but whatever. If I'm looking at experiences, the innovation, like what it did for a franchise that I think, even though I love the 2D Castlevania games that are on handhelds, they're kind of, it's not exactly more of the same, but it's not largely divergent from the formula that's been so great for so long since Symphony of the Night. This one, it really shook things up in a really interesting way.
It just sucks that nobody else appreciates it.
It sucks that not a lot of people appreciate it or even experienced it the way that it needs to be experienced, I think. So, yeah.
Cool, Dave, what's your number 4?
He just said it.
Oh, yeah, you were the same. That's right. So, my number 4...
Oh, and man, the redrawn character art is so much better than that DS anime crap.
That's true.
Charlotte is beautiful.
I bet she is.
And Sci-Fi stole her and ruined her.
Be ready for my number 4.
Sure.
My number 4 is Singularity.
Whoa. I didn't expect it to be that high.
I didn't either. But that game
It's awesome.
is in much the same way. Yeah, I reacted to that game in the exact same way as I reacted to the original Bioshock. And I know I keep mentioning Bioshock.
That's
for this
crazy.
game. It's not on the same level because Bioshock obviously it has, I think it has maybe the more creative talent behind it, maybe the bigger budget. But as far as like doing like having some really awesome set pieces in a really interesting world, and the way they handle like time travel in this game is really well done. And they don't give you control over jumping through time, obviously, but it's all handled well from the story to the point where when the ending finally comes, it's so satisfying to watch everything come together and click. And it had a really great twist in the end.
Do you play a big beefy white dude in this game?
You don't really see your character.
You're
First person dude. But surprisingly good story, good characters, really cool premise, and the TMD had done a category for best weapon. I probably would have put the TMD in there, just because it's so satisfying to be able to like create a bubble around you where when bullets enter it, like all the bullets slow down to like a crawl, and you can really just walk.
That was
out
my
of their
favorite
way.
ability.
And then to like just wait for like, because when dudes walk into the bubble, they freeze as well. So you can just shoot a bunch of bullets and they'll like stop right in front of their face and just step out of the bullet and wait for the bubble shield to go down. And when it pops out, the bullets go right back into their original speed and just shoot right into their face. You can do all sorts of stuff like that mid-battle, and then disintegrating a dude with your hand, just like reaching out at him, like using the fucking force and like disintegrate him into like dust is fucking fantastic. And they don't. I really would have loved to see them like flesh the weapon out a little bit more, but it was their first attempt at this kind of thing, and it had some, overall engine like the game's set piece moments in the story was enough to warrant me putting this game this high on my list, because I really think it's underappreciated and not a lot of people played it, and I really wish more people would have just taken a chance on it. But probably one of my favorite shooters of the year, or at least atmospheric shooters. Brad. Oh, multiplayer's terrible. I'll say that though.
It's probably not terrible.
It's terrible. It's pretty bad.
My number 3 is a game that I know y'all don't love, but on the other show, a couple of them had it very high on their list. And it's definitely one of my favorite games of the year. Is Enslaved: Odyssey to the West.
I enjoyed that game. I just didn't enjoy it to the degree that you did, or the degree to which I expected to enjoy it.
I just, people say, oh, well, it's got some good characters and stuff, and the cutscenes are nice, but I don't really like the gameplay. I just wasn't in that camp. I really enjoyed playing that game.